What I hear, what I say, guys. Welcome to the new series, the new channel stuff, and most likely how to be a Gillionaire. It's gonna be a special series that I'm gonna be focusing on current patch ways to make gil, and I'm talking about hundreds of millions of gil within days. Now, some will say that's not possible, but I can prove you wrong, and I can show you how and what to do. Now, obviously, do have in mind as a small disclaimer, this will require you to be best in SWAT, even though we're near the end of expansion, so you should be best in SWAT. If you're not, go get geared, please. Please. I love you, but please. Now, in terms of items you can actually sell to make that amount of money is... yes, housing. Currently, it is housing, as shocking as this. Obviously, there are alternatives. I will give you some ones that make less gil, but we'll go with the most profitable one. Now, as you know, we have the new expert recipe for the crumbling aqueduct, which is the new hot housing item. It is the one thing that sells the most, and it sells for a lot of money. Now, first of all, in order to craft it, you will need to be best. Secondly, all of these recipes, you will need to complete both quality and progress, just for the first timers. Now, I would suggest having some of the crafters on the jobs required. So in this case, I have carpenter, blacksmith, and alchemist. You can always go with cooking, quad craft, leatherworking, or armor craft, depending where. But the small boost helps a lot, especially when you're fishing for client and other conditions. Now, once you do the quick crafts, you craft the aqueduct and you sell it. It sells a lot, it sells fast, and it's a good gil. Now, just so that I can show you what I mean is, first of all, I emptied out Wussy last week. So, well, not last week, actually on patch day, to be specific. I emptied him out on patch day. So I can see how much I can make in the next 2 weeks. And this is the 2 weeks profit margin. Even if you don't have money, you can still make this by starting from scratch and collecting the materials. But if you have a capital, roughly on a 8 million investment for materials, you make about 60 million in profits, roughly, after deducting the investment. Now, to show you what I mean is, let me just check some of my retainer history. We have some that have sold here and some of the pre-crafts. This was also a new housing item, but it crashed kind of fast. And it's not an expert craft. I have been dwindling with selling the pre-crafts as well, as you can see. Some of the railing materials whenever I have leftovers. And the one that is the biggest profit maker and the one that shows the most is obviously the aqueduct. As you can see, it sells a lot. There are days where I literally sell more than 10, so you can imagine the profits. The only downside is that it's expert crafting and it actually requires you to know how to craft. But it is the fastest way for you to get that golden mount. Buy your friend that minion that they want, because they're not a crafter. And it is the easiest way to become a Gillionaire or a billionaire, if you fancy that. Because, you know, there's not enough out of us there. Now, this is your most profitable way. Now, depending on your server, the prices may vary. For example, here on my server, Lisua, I've kind of monopolized the market because nobody else likes to craft for 12 hours a day like me. And I am the one that dictates the price. This is where you can get them the cheapest in the entirety of EU. But they go between this and about 5 million, depending on your server per one. And as you can see, the sell history is there. Like, people buy them. This is your easiest way to get money at the moment for 7.55. Now, there is always the option with going with the pre-crafts. They are also being sold, not as much, but they sell as well. And now, if you by chance don't have the best in SWAT, you don't know how to do expert crafting, there is a few time-old ways to make gil with housing crafting, and that's obviously one is the one other new item is the Canal Garden. It sells just a second. I think I'm not writing it correctly. Garden Canal, yeah. It sells decently well. Not the best, but it sells decently well, as you can see. People will buy it, but it's not as fast and not as loft. There is always the lofty business. This is your guaranteed way of gil, and it requires irremovable materials. As you can see, barely anyone does, and barely anyone actually crafts at the moment, which is the shocking part of the thingy, but you know, that's how it is. But yeah, this is the end of the expansion. Pretty much, we'll have one more patch. Most likely there's going to be something new added there. So, with that meaning that end of the day, there might be a new way to come, but for the time being, for 7.55, these are the fastest ways. The way you can make gil. The fastest way. Is it the most efficient? Debatable, because it has the prerequisite of you being best. But, if you're not, please, go do it. If you're not, I will help you as well, as long as I can. It doesn't take a lot, and you can always do it. Now, in terms of gathering, because I know some people don't like gathering as well, you have a few options that actually sell very well at the moment. They're both Dawntrail time nodes. One is the Carnoble leaf. It is holding a steady price, as you can see, and it sells a lot. And the dense aluminum ore. All of the time nodes, these are the two ones that sell the best, since to make that aqueduct we spoke about earlier, for about 25 aqueducts, roughly, you need 1200 out of each ore. Which by itself is, yeah. Now, will this net you the same amount of gil as just selling aqueducts? No, it won't. The aqueducts are just the end game of the gil making at the moment for this patch. But it will net you good gil as well. Now, someone will say, but I'm not in Dawntrail. Well, that's the idea of this series specifically. This is how to be a Gillionaire with the current patch. Now, if you like this series, we can continue it. And obviously, if you like to do, for me to make a series for previous expansions, what you can do there to get such amounts of gil, we can obviously do it as well. And lastly but not least, if you're not a crafter, your only option is get a warrior and go do some Endwalker maps, especially the Cumbia skin. You will be netting a lot of gil as well. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed what I just shared with you, and I hope to see you in the next video with how to be a Gillionaire Lucy edition. Wish you all the best. Bye bye.